Hey everyone, this episode of Garage Time is going to be a little different. We are on a 1,000-mile road trip to hunt down some Porsche parts.
Garage Time.
These aren't just any Porsche parts. This is my 3.2 engine, and I'm picking it up in Denver in my dad's truck. My son Alex with me. We got tons of snacks. We got a tent in the back. So stay tuned. This should be a really fun trip. We spent the night last night in Las Vegas. It was kind of uneventful. We just stayed at the Hampton Inn next to the airport. But we're about 3 or 4 hours away from Denver, and we're a little bit late. The person we're meeting, Shane, you'll meet him soon. He's already there waiting with all the goods. He drove in from Illinois, so we met in the middle. The engine in the car.
Oh yeah, I've plenty of room now. All right. We know what we're doing. We know what we're doing.
You're moving the truck, not the engine.
The truck? Well, I think it's hung up on the There we go. Yeah, there we go. So we can do it in flip-flop. Yep. Doesn't stop flip-flop. For Hawaii, we can get. I meant to ask you how that trip was. I've never been, but I always wanted to go. Yeah, that's great. All my years in the military, and I still never had a chance to go. It's cool.
All right, so this is Shane Herrick, and we, yeah. So he,
Dirty hands.
I know, look at this. What's going on with all these parts? Where did they come from? This started as a YouTube comment. Shane at one point said, hey, you want to buy my engine?
Yeah, I've been following Tom and his build for a really long time since, his 911 project. I didn't follow anything before then, if there was anything.
Yeah.
And just being a fan, and one of his subscribers, one point I commented, I'm like, hey, as this project moves forward, you're going to need a bigger engine. And then I kind of threw a hint, like, hey, I've got a 3.2 and a bunch of removed parts from my 1987 911 Carrera, and I'm turning it into a hot rod project. So he showed interest, and we've been talking for a little over a year now.
Yeah.
Trying to work out details
right.
and figure out parts, a list of what it was, and
Yeah, originally I was
how
interested
this
in
was
just
gonna
the
work.
engine, and then it was like, well, do you have the oil lines? Do you have the oil tank? And he's like, I got pretty much the whole car.
Right.
So that's what's in the back now. It's pretty much the whole car. He's not using wheels, tires, suspension, sway bar, oil lines, wire harnesses, ECU. I mean, it's kind of everything I need, plus some. And you guys know my strategy. I always overbuy, take the best for myself, and then I'll pass it on. You know, Southern California is full of customers for this stuff.
Absolutely.
So whatever I don't use will go to someone with a good home. and it'll be on someone else's car. So.
Yeah, and I get to look forward to watch you work with my parts.
Your parts, yeah.
And if you complain about my parts, I'm like, oh man.
Right, right. And even better than that, you're coming out to California
Yes.
soon, so hopefully you can drive this engine in my car again.
Oh, that'd be great. I'd
Yeah.
love that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
The mountains
awesome.
out there, from all the videos I see from you guys on the West Coast, it'd be
right.
awesome. And I'm the Chicago area, so I get short year, salt. I never drive on anything on the salt, so it'd be good to
Right.
come out that way out west and have a little bit
Yeah.
of fun. So.
Well, thanks so much, Shane. This is
Hey,
like a deal of the
absolutely.
century, so
Awesome.
I
No, it's
appreciate
good to meet
it.
you finally.
Yeah, thanks for
Famous.
Yeah, well, not so much. It's just about the car, you know,
Right.
and whatever it takes. The haul made it through the night. You see all the goodies. Only a few things inside. This is the ECU and the wire harness. But our campsite is right up here. Ta-da! Kind of packed up, ready to go. Getting a little rain. I hope my parts aren't getting too wet, but they're car parts. They can handle it, I think. Today, we are not camping in a tent. Today was a little bit of a rough day. We're on our way home and I got some altitude sickness coming over. It's the Continental Divide. On the way out, it didn't hurt me at all. I am susceptible to altitude sickness, like when I go skiing and stuff. I usually can't do any strenuous activity the first day. But I thought just driving would be, easy peasy. But on the way back, I guess it's the up and down and up and down. It made me pretty sick. So I was headache, nauseous, and just didn't feel well at all. And so I still have a headache. It's like slowly getting better. We're down in Richfield, and I think the elevation here, we're in Utah, it's about, 5,000 feet or 4,000 feet, something like that. It's much, much better. So I'm feeling better. We didn't get as far as we hoped today, but just gonna take a nice rest and hit it again tomorrow. Hopefully nothing was taken overnight. We covered it up in this tarp, so it looks like everything's still here. The wheels, everything, yay! It's one of our little pit stops. We're taking a little scenic road here. Stopped by this old cattle farm. Nothing but dirt roads and countryside. And the Porsche parts are all still here. This is Butch Cassidy's home. Right there. So nice. Yeah. Solar generator plant.
bright light.
Need to pick up on this corner a little bit right here. Can you come to this side? See how it's catching on this part of the, it's about to teeter, Yeah. So let's go down. Let's get this right here just to be safe. Can you release that little pin on this right? If it doesn't, it'll click in. Yeah, eventually. Okay, here we go. A couple more inches.
It's on the lip.
A little scary, but it just fell off. So let's lift it on here. Okay, so it's on both of those. Those arms are both there, right?
Yeah, it looks like it.
This engine's not mine. This is Benji's engine, also a 3.2 liter. This one is mine, and they're essentially the same engines. One is, I think, an 85, one's an 87. This is an 87, but yeah, it's home. Thank you for following along with me in the journey. To me, these cars aren't about the finished product. It's really about the journey, and going to get this engine is no different. I step up all the time to get a good deal, buy more than I need, and sell what I don't need. So this engine won't be installed next week. This engine, next step on both of these engines actually, are to get them up on my engine test stand and do some diagnostics, and I need to do some learning on what's required to run these engines with the ECU, the electronic cabling, and diagnose some of the electronic gizmos that are required for these engines. And I'm also going to do things like leak down testing with the engine warm and get the oil circulating and make sure we get all the things dialed in before we even attempt to put it in the car. Not to mention installing oil lines and oil cooler and all the associated electronics in the car. So that's not going to happen immediately. I'm perfectly happy at the moment with the 912 engine, but this was always the plan. You guys know my car's been a budget build. I spent way more on the engine than I did on the entire car, including the price of the car. So this was always the case. I think the Porsche experience is all about the flat six, and I want to spend the money on the engine, and that's where we are today. I'm going to run the engine in the car as a stock 3.2, as is, with the Motronic injection computer. Eventually, I'm going to take this engine apart and make it bigger. A 3.2 is a great platform to expand upon. We'll do things like cam, potentially a stroke or crank. We're going to do individual throttle bodies and really give it kind of the hot rod feel. But for now, it's going to be 3.2 stock form. You guys know I'm talking about phase 1, 2, and 3. This gets me to phase 2. Phase 3, we're looking at probably 300 plus horsepower. So thank you for supporting me and watching these videos. There's a lot more exciting things to come. Even if you think my car is done, it's not. There's so much more to do, and I really appreciate you taking the journey with me, especially out to Denver. Take care. See you next week.